I'm Shane Nyland, and my co host is Blake Musser. And these stories you're about to hear are from Weapons Company, 2nd Battalion, 4th Marines, 1st Marine Division, about the events surrounding and directly from the mouths of the people who were in Ramadi 2004. Fantastic. All right, well, let's start by introducing everybody to who you are, what your rank was in 2004, and what platoon you were with.
All right. My name is Yancy Harris. I was a Lance Corporal in 2-4 Weapons Company, Mobile Assault Platoon 1.
Nice. That's what I remember too. Well, wherever you want to start, brother.
Well, I was thinking about, actually, it's a pretty funny story, kind of humiliating towards me, but it was really funny. There was it ended up working out good in the end, but in the very beginning, we were set up in an alleyway, and I think we were cordoning off an area for a bug hunt. And we only had one working radio in between everybody in that truck. And the gunner was sitting there, Johnny, he was sitting there on the gun, and he got a call over the radio. He had the only working radio that said there was about to be a flyover from a jet. But what he relayed to me was there's a guy in a car shooting RPGs at everybody. So I go to the corner of the building, aiming down this alley, and there's a big pile of rocks right next to me. And then I don't remember, I think it was F-16 maybe, flew over the head of us, and it sounded just like a damn RPG. So I dove head first into the pile of rocks, and I started trying to dig myself into a hole. I ended up tearing off my fingernails and everything else, and he was just laughing. And then what was funny about it, though, was it ended up being a door underneath that thing that led to a little weapons cache that we ended up confiscating. So it worked out good. But he got me really good that time.
That's hilarious.
I don't think, well, that, I don't know, you were in map 2, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Right. I don't know if you remember, they called our truck the RPG truck for a while because we got hit or was shot at by 6 RPGs in 1 week. Just our truck, not the platoon, just our truck.
Nice.
So we started getting like really freaking paranoid of RPGs all of a sudden.
Yeah.
But there was one that came over, and it came like over the fence, over my head, and then over Johnny's head on the top of the truck, and then it bounced in between Silver's legs and slammed into the wall. And the guy had never pulled the pin, and it never went off, just buried itself in the wall. But it literally just went all between the 3 of us and slammed into the wall.
That's crazy. And what kind of truck were you in? Were you in a high back?
No, we were in an up armor. There was the first truck with the lieutenant, and then there was us. Then there was the high back, and then 2 more armors.
Okay. Yeah, I was just thinking, it seems like from everybody else's stories, a lot of times the high backs were getting targeted. I was wondering why you were. Maybe they just hated your gunner.
I think either that or they all were just terrible shots. I
don't know. Well, yeah, there's that too.
I think that's definitely the case.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, if it's funny, your stories about the flyover, and you have to correct me, but I feel like the flyovers didn't happen until in the summer, like June, July timeframe. Does that sound right? Like it was pretty hot out when we had the flyovers.
Yeah. We had been there for a while.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Okay.
That wasn't early. And of course, I don't know if you remember, but when everything started kicking off, back in April, map 1 was on the bridge. We were on the bridge. So there for like 2 or 3 days, all y'all were getting all the action, and we hadn't got any. So y'all started calling us map none, and we were instead of map 1. And we were like so pissed. Like, and then, I mean, it wasn't another day and we got into a firefight, but like at first we hated y'all for a minute.
Yeah. It's not like there was any shortage of things to do in that city, really,
No,
ever. But yeah, that sounds like something I would do. I probably even made that up, actually.
it probably.
So you mentioned a couple of names. I remember Silver real well. Who was in your gun? Was it Johnson?
Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
We
who
called
else?
him John. We called ourselves Team Johnny. Um, so we called the truck the Pale Horse, and Johnny was Death. And
Nice.
then Solis was our team leader,
Oh, okay.
and he didn't know how to spell Johnny. They misspelled it, and it had like two H's and two N's in it. So we just kept it that way. We just like it was pretty funny.
That's awesome. Have you heard from Solis in a while? I haven't heard from Solis in a long time. That's one guy I have not kept up with.
No, I haven't heard from him. Like I went down with him. Me and Johnny and Silver and Gutty and somebody else went down with him. That last year we were into his family's house over in Tijuana.
Yeah.
But I don't think he went back down there after he got out. So might just be because he's down there. But I haven't heard from him.
Sure. Huh. All right. Yeah, Gutty, that's another one I haven't talked to in a long time. I've seen him on Facebook, but I haven't talked to him in a long time either. Well, that's good. All right. Well, wherever else you want to go, man, that's a hell of a way to start. That's a crazy story.
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah. Let's see. There was and he won't mind me telling it. You remember Peterson?
Oh yeah.
The way he got the nickname Pistol Pete. That was really funny. Or not funny. Whatever, however you want to take it. But we had a roadblock set up, and the guy ran the roadblock and jumped through Jackass, which was the high back with everybody in it. Jumped past Jackass and started going. And Pete was on the 240 on the top of the Humvee, and he was aiming that way, but instead of shooting the guy with the 240, he just pulls his 9 mil out and about 40 yards, shoots one time with one hand, and just drills the guy right through the chest, through the windshield. And crashed the car. And we were all just kind of staring at him. And he's like, I got him. I was like, yeah, but you had a machine gun. So everybody started calling him Pistol Pete after that.
Dude, he had the only accurate Beretta in the whole damn battalion, probably, because every one of those things I ever picked up, it rattled like crazy. It had 50,000 rounds through it. And that's good.
Yep. I think maybe Guardian Angels were curving the bullet. I don't know.
Yeah, that could be.
Did you guys stick mostly with the same truck team? Like you went over like the guys that you started with is who you had the whole entire time?
Yep. Yeah, we
Nice.
never switched it up. We did have two guys come in, I think a month after we were there, that were from different battalions that had transferred out, and they were staying. But besides that, and we stuck them in Jackass, the high back. So there's just two more people in the high back.
Nice. Yeah, that, I mean, again, we talked about this before, but that's a cat concept, is like, and that's how we all trained, was all cat, right? You mostly stick with the same team, so everybody kind of knows all the positions in the truck, but you're the same people, so you know each other. And I don't know, it just worked well when we moved to the mobile assault platoons.
What was your MOS again, Harris?
31 machine gunner.
Okay.
Oh no, I was saying I think our whole truck was.
I was going to say
We were
Solis
all
was,
three
and
in
Johnson
my
was
truck.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to remember if Silver was, and I'm pretty sure he was. I'm trying to remember from the machine gun competition. I think he was.
Nice.
Well, Shane and I, I was trying to figure out when did you come over to 2-4? Did you get dropped to us when we were still in Oki towards the end, or did you come more towards the when we got sent to Iraq?
No, I got there and right before we went to Guam. You remember that one?
Yeah. That was
okay.
that was my memory too. Is you and Johnson and at least one or two other people kind of showed up right in the middle of everything.
Yeah, it was
So you
me and
came.
Johnson, Emir, Chico, and Jax that came.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, so you came onto the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And y'all were so happy about still being on that ship.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you saw us in rare form at that point. Then,
yeah.
So
it was. He probably won't care if I tell us. Oh, Pryor got me to, which I was a stupid boot. I didn't know what I was doing. Got me to run over to Gunny Meraki and tell him that I love him. That worked really well for me.
That is fantastic.
Let's see.
what do you remember of the dial-up? Did you do a lot of any? Did you go to any division schools or anything like that, or were you just part of the normal getting ready to make the jump for Ramadi?
No, I went to the what was it? Assault Humvee school. We did a lot of me and a couple other guys did a lot of CQB training with Sergeant Condi a lot in the free time. Like when we were off.
Oh, that's interesting.
That guy could CQB better than anybody in the world.
Yeah, with his previous experience with the fast teams and all that, he really had a whole lot more training than we did. And from what somebody else said is, I guess him and Gunny Meraki knew each other like prior to coming to 2-4, and they had trained together. I don't know, that was an interesting tidbit that I didn't know. But that's cool that he trained you kind of like in his off time. What were you guys doing? Just like tape house stuff out in the backyard or what?
No, we were clearing barracks rooms, putting different people.
Is everyone a willing participant in that?
To my knowledge.
Nice.
Maybe sometimes they weren't, but he probably wasn't in there for those. Sometimes they weren't. So
nice. That's cool, man.
That made me think of that. I forgot that was something that we did, using tennis balls as grenades and sometimes randomly clearing rooms after we learned how to do it really well. And
yeah,
that was some good times.
Yeah. Trying to think of some more stories. I remember there was only 3 movies that everybody could agree on out of all the DVDs we had. One was Spun. I don't know if y'all remember that one.
Yeah, a little bit.
That meth one where the guy's making meth and the guy's on meth. It was stupid, but that one badly. But the only one that we watched all the time was Finding Nemo. and like every night. Well, then when we were at QRF, Santiago used to kick in the door and be like, QRF up, and we'd take off running with our gear. And as we'd go out the door, somebody goes, shark bait. And we'd all go, ooh-ah, like that. And then we keep saying it all the way to the trucks. I don't know why that was said, but I saw a video the other day on TikTok of these Marines, and they were bouncing the guy up and down on a pole, and they were sticking shark bait. And I was like, hey, maybe we started that.
Nice. Yeah, it's always funny, the hooch life shit. People always think like, Marines are gonna be watching like, I don't know, Platoon or Predator or something all the time. And it's every time it's goofy kids movies, it's romantic movies, it's some goofy shit. It's hilarious.
Oh, man. Yeah. when we got the first season of Smallville on DVD, it was like all 28 of us packed around the TV watching like every episode without fail.
That's awesome. Now,
Um,
while you're there, what else you remember of Hooch life then? What else do you guys do when you're bored downtime Marines in Ramadi?
well, I played a lot of Scrabble.
Oh, that's
And
interesting.
you had to really mix it up where it was like, okay, you can only use words that could be construed as sexual, or you can only use like curse words no matter what language they're in. Because it just got too boring just playing Scrabble, so we had to mix it up, you know.
Who
I
did you play
remember
with
that.
that? That's a pretty highbrow game for 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 the infantry.
Yeah. Well, I remember who was it? I think it was Salif. You know, I mean, he could talk fine, but he had trouble a lot of times spelling, you know, because it's not his first language.
Yeah.
And he was sitting there staring and like, I think Johnny had played a word and we were doing sexual words and it was just like four M's in a row. And Salif was like, what's that? And we're laughing and we're like, what? Say it again? He's like, and played Scrabble. There was a lot of me and you remember French?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Me and him used to do Krav Maga and knife fighting out in the back in the dunes out back of the hooch.
Yeah.
And I swear, if you're equally matched and neither one of you are that very well trained and you both have a knife, it always ends with both of you with one knife trying to stab the other person on the ground every single time.
Now
We played a lot.
were these training knives or were they real knives?
No, they were training knives.
Okay, well that's good.
Yeah. Could have been real nice sometimes, but you know, we played a lot of Texas Hold'em.
Nice.
Lots of Texas Hold'em. That's not That's about it for hooch life, really.
The other thing I remember specifically about your hooch, I didn't come over there too much, but I did come over every once in a while to, talk to somebody about something. Who knows what? Usually it's Santiago or Anthony. But I remember you guys had a big old wood table with a naked chick drawn on it. Somebody had drawn that. Do you ever
Yeah.
remember? You remember that? Who drew that?
Yeah. I'm trying to remember who drew it. I don't actually remember who drew it. That's what we played Scramble on, though.
Yeah, yeah. It was your table. It was like a 4x8 sheet of plywood that had this giant chicken, like a camo uniform with her boobs out. Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember who. I think it was Stevens.
Nice.
I think it was Stevens because we were bitching about how the place needed more class, and then he started drawing on it, so we just kept letting him.
Nice.
Let's see. Anybody say anything about that Humvee that went down into the little river?
A little bit, yeah. We had Fuentes. We interviewed him early, and he talked a little about Drake going in to save the gear and some other stuff. But yeah, you tell it, man. Let's hear your version. He didn't talk about it too much.
That was just funny because it was a tiny little bridge over that, and like the Humvee, there was a couple of trucks and everything that could barely get across it, but the Humvees had like maybe 6 inches on each side of the wheels, to go across it.
Yeah.
And the convoy was like 40 trucks. And somehow or another, and I'm not being sexist, but the only truck driven by a woman ended up falling into the river. And it was bad. That water was bad. And then she got out, and yeah, I completely forgot about Steph Sergeant going in after that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was bad. That water was terrible.
Yeah. Well, not only, and they drugged that truck back to Hurricane Point, so it stunk. But I remember Drake stunk, and I remember thinking like, man, he's gonna get some kind of disease. I don't think he ever did, but God, I was absolutely sure he was gonna get some kind of weird Iraqi herpes or something.
Yeah, I think we used bleach, starfish, all sorts of crap on him, trying to make sure he didn't. And I think Doc gave him a bunch of like antibiotics too.
Nice. Yeah, probably a smart idea. That was
I know,
the civil affairs truck, right? This is civil affairs you guys were escorting?
I think so.
Yeah, nice.
I know we had
I
one or
do
two
remember.
guys punch through on some of those cesspools, and it ended up dyeing their skin. It was so gross.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it was bad. And then you see like some kid walking over there and like playing in it. And it's like, oh man, come on.
Yeah.
Um, I do remember. I don't remember his name or anything. Whoever that when we went to arrest the police chief.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that? Because y'all were the second cordon, right? Weren't you?
Yep.
Right
Yeah.
around that
We were almost always the
thing.
outer
And
cordon.
we yeah, and we were the grab team. And I remember us pulling in there, and Johnny moved his gun, and I stepped out, and there was 5 different machine gun nests pointed at us. And I was like, well, let's really pray this goes well, because if they decide to fight, I don't think we're going to get a shot off.
Yeah.
Um, I think that was the longest operation ever, because I think it only lasted like 5 minutes, and they were already coming up with him because he came peacefully. But for that 5 minutes, I was like, man, if this pops off, I don't think we're not surviving.
Yeah, that was I'm trying to remember the date on that when it was like June something, but I can't remember. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I think it was June 1st or 2nd, something like that, when we arrested the police chief.
Yeah.
was it that early?
It was
Because I
pretty
thought
it was pretty early. Yeah.
because it was towards the end of the month that the governor got kidnapped, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Do remember one, there was it's kind of funny, man. Most of my stories have to do with RPGs. I feel like we just constantly got hit with RPGs.
Hmm.
But it was a bug hunt. We were outer cordon, and I think it was either Fox or Golf that was coming through. No, we were inner, so they were working our way towards us. So we knew when we saw them coming through that we were about to be able to take up the concertina wire and get out of there. And I'd been standing in the same spot for like, I mean, you remember, like 12, 13 hours,
Right.
you know? And they started coming through. Well, I went over there to take the concertina wire down, and Celeste was up on top of a building guardian angel, and Silver was over in a ditch on the other side of the wire, and Johnny was on the truck. And as the people from Fox were coming through, an RPG came off the roof long ways away and hit him in the legs. And I can't remember his name. I know it blew one of his legs at the knee off, but I can't remember can't remember what his name was. Anyways, they thought it was me because he was standing, laying down, screaming right exactly where I was standing.
Oh yeah.
And I thought Johnny got hit because it was basically shrapnel hit the truck, and Johnny dropped. So I'm screaming Johnny, and Celeste is screaming Harris, and Silver's screaming Harris because they think that's me there. And then Johnny gets up and he had the mark, and he just starts blowing the building apart. And mass confusion there for a minute, but I don't think we got that guy. I think he got away. Unless he was in that building, and then he definitely didn't get away.
Yeah, they shoot and scoot was especially on those things. They were so far away they could just do that and just blow off and blend into the crowd and take off.
Yeah. They're good. And I do remember, you remember Doc Cornwell?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So we had Cornwell in the front truck, and we had Doc Gibbons in the back truck. And we stacked up in this alley that was like super. It was when that guy from I think it was golf got hit with that sniper rifle. You remember that one that
Oh,
ended up being stolen from the two snipers that went out?
yeah.
So we had stacked up in an alley right there, and we're kind of looking. Anyways, a guy came around on a bicycle or a motorbike and shot an RPG and hit the door that Cornwell was standing behind, and it blew him out the other side of the Humvee upside down, and it stopped his heart because he was just, you know,
Yeah.
open mouth, wide eyed, like nothing there. And I ran up there and I pulled him down, and I was trying to get him. So we were screaming for Doc Gibbons, and he's like, Cornwell's up there. And we're like, Cornwell's the one that's hit. And then Doc Gibbons came up there and like just punched the ever living crap out of his chest. Bam. Like that. And when he did, he just, started
Huh.
breathing again. And I thought, oh my God. Yeah. I remember that because that it blew him through the thing. The lieutenant wasn't at the truck at the time. I think a little bit of shrapnel got in Hess's shoulder and some got on Liz. It was a really good hit.
Dude, that's crazy. Especially with the precordial thump. That's good work on the corpsman's part of thinking to punch him in the chest.
Hey, it was. That didn't cross my mind. I just
No,
thought
no,
he was
no.
done.
It's not like there's a defibrillator out on the battlefield somewhere. You just like, quickly charge up and do something. That's crazy, man. That's cool.
Yep. I'm trying to think of any more. Like I say, most of them have to do with RPGs. I just feel like that we were always getting hit.
Well, here, let me, I'll see if I can jog your memory any. When you guys came up, did you come up in the first convoy or the second one? Do you remember?
I think the first.
First convoy. Okay. I mean, both of I think there was only two. Maybe there was three, but I think there was only two, and they were long as hell. They were, 40 whatever vehicles long of
Yeah.
7 tons and Humvees. And then we came up about March 6th was the first convoy, and Golf Company was a part of that. Do you remember any of the early missions before April? Anything in March strike your memory? Or even your first time you went outside the wire, anything like that?
I do. I don't. I remember we were with some people, and I'm not going to say who the people were, but then we got shot at and they screamed back to the base. So we followed, obviously, and found out that was kind of like the standard SOP at the time for getting shot at. And I remember that. I also remember it was before we had. When did we get YNSs? Do you remember? Because I remember it's like we didn't have them at first.
We did not have, and that I know of, we did not have any in March. I think or maybe we did. It might have been March like 26th-ish was like the first time we ever used them on a night raid. And then they were there for everything in April.
Yeah. So it must have been. So that's what I'm saying. I think it must have been real early. I think it was real early because we grabbed two people we were supposed to, and the women were losing their minds, and we were trying to corral them without touching them and everything. And it was actually very happy to have lionesses later when we started grabbing people because just keeping them away was terrible.
Yeah. Did you ride with the lionesses much? I only got to work with them one time, really. It wasn't something that was frequent for me.
It was anytime it was like a snatch, but like they weren't really there, if we were going with EOD or anything like that. But
Right.
Because usually the way it seemed, the way it was usually planned was map 3, then map 2, then map 1, like, kind of like a bullseye formation when we were grabbing somebody. So for some reason, usually we were the ones going to grab the people.
I was gonna say, it did seem like you guys were on the inner part a lot more than we were. We just didn't kick down doors as much as, I know 81s did with Blake's platoon and Sledgehammer, and then Rainmaker, the other 81s platoon, and then you guys. And then, yeah, we were out Usually on the outer portion, almost all the time.
But yeah, I remember 81s. That was kind of I always thought it was kind of crazy just how it ended up everybody became 0311s and 0331s, and it was like there was no more no more tow gunners, no more 51s, no more 81s. It was just like
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, machine gun ruled the battlefield when it came to there, especially the Mark 19.
Yeah. Oh, I do remember something. It's pretty funny. You know how much you mess with each other in the hooch, that's just the way it
Absolutely.
is.
That's how we say I love
Well,
you.
right, exactly. Well, we used to get, I mean, do y'all remember a single night where somebody didn't lob a couple mortars out of the back of the truck at us?
Very
Like,
rare.
it was
Yeah.
yeah, it's like every night. And, you get to that point where you kind of hear the thump, 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 and you're just like, barely wake up. As soon as you hear the explosion not kill you, then you're just right back to sleep.
Yeah.
But I heard one, and it was loud. Like it hit it right outside the hooch. And I was like, oh, that was close. And I went to sleep. So Silver came over to me. He was like, hey, did that mortar hit the truck? And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, you need to go change the flap. I said, nah, whatever, man. And I really thought he was messing with me. And Johnny came over and said the same thing to me. And I was like, man, y'all leave me alone. Because it was when we were on the bridge. So, I already just did my 12 hours on. I had my time off. I was trying to sleep. And the police came over and kicked the shit out of me. I was like, what? He's like, your truck has a flat tire. I was like, no, seriously? So I went out there, and the back driver's side tire had caught shrapnel. The front of the hooch and our truck were the only things that caught shrapnel. And so changing a tire in that sand, man, was awesome. That deep sand. And then I got the tire off. I got the spare off, and I put the spare on. I lowered the jack, and the second I did, the shrapnel had hit the spare, so it just went. I went right back down. So I ended up having to jack it up, take it off, and take both to the motor, roll both to the motor pool, and get them fixed, and then bring them back. That sucked.
I was just saying, nothing like adding a couple of hours to something that should be minutes.
Yeah. About the time I got done, it was time for me to go back on the bridge.
Yeah, that's about right.
I will tell an embarrassing story. Just for why not? We had just been told keep your Kevlars buttoned while you're on the bridge. I don't think anybody ever actually did that, but that was what you're supposed to do.
Sure.
And we were on the bridge. We were sitting there, and I'm trying to remember. Golf company was walking down the road, and then an IED went off, and I jumped on the 240 like as fast as I could to cover. And when I did, my Kevlar wasn't buttoned, so it ended up falling. And I dove to grab it, but then it ended up going in the Euphrates.
Oh no!
So Sergeant Santiago got there with I think it was List and John. They were replacing us. I was just standing there with no helmet. He's like, "Where's your Kevlar?" I was like, I just kind of pointed at the river. So that night, I remember I woke up and it was dark as hell in the hooch, but somebody was sitting on the end of the bed. And I was trying to see who it was, and it was Gunny Merarkey. And he was like, "Heard we had an incident today, Harris." It's like, "Yes, Gunny." He's like, "You got a cigarette?" And I was like, "Yeah, you want a whole carton?" I got cartons, man. And he's like, "No, I just want one." And I was like, "Okay." And I handed it to him. He's like, "You got a lighter?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." And I reached over for a lighter, and I turned it around, and he was gone. That scared the total shit out of me. And he took me to the supply to get a new one. He told me I had to wear it for like a week. I had to shower with that damn thing on. I hated that thing. But never dropped the helmet again.
There was a couple. You weren't the only one. There was a couple of helmets that ended up in the drink, and a couple different people dropped different things off that post. Yeah, that a lot of board hours, a lot of bored Marines doing bored shit.
Yeah. Actually, the only time I ever got to fire off of there was, man, it was like 3 days before we left. And like, I remember me and List, we ended up getting I think I went through 2 mags and he went through like a whole can on the 240.
What happened with that?
There was, I forgot who it was. It was was it 2.5 that came in with us?
Yeah.
Like to replace us?
Yeah,
They
2.5 was our relief.
Yeah, they were out there. And I think there was a few ride-alongs with them.
Mm-hmm.
Ran across the bridge and they were taking fire from a window, and I think me and Liz just got to just spray and pray the whole second floor to give them cover. I don't know if we hit anybody or what. Whoever was in there was dead, but I can't say if it was them going in or us spraying. So
Sure.
but it was nice to finally get to shoot off the bridge after all that time.
Nice.
But everything I could think of, it's worth really mentioning.
Well, let me jog your memory on a couple things, and we'll see. So,
Okay.
you talked about being up on the bridge, 6th, 7th, that kind of time frame. But from my memory and my notes, the morning of April 6th, you guys had went out at night, and you cordoned off and captured the Republican Guard guy. What was it? Farhan. And that kind of started the whole Battle of Ramadi, really, because that was that guy was some leader and coordinator of all the things that were supposed to be happening. Do you happen to remember anything about that morning?
You know, it was real smooth and it was real quiet. Like it wasn't really. I mean, yeah, you're right. So I wasn't really talking about the morning of Battle of Ramadi, but it was before that. Y'all had all up until the Battle of Ramadi, we hadn't seen any action,
Okay.
and y'all had had a few little firefights here and there, but everybody had been through something except for us. That's why they kept calling us.
Okay. All right. Okay.
It was infuriating.
Yeah. Yeah, I was curious because you said you're on the bridge, and I was like, man, I wonder where they were at. Because to my recollection, it was Sledgehammer. It was one of the 81 platoons that were up on the bridge guard posts on the 6th. Where were you guys at on the 6th?
I'm trying to remember. I don't remember.
Yeah, that's okay if it doesn't stand out to you. Again,
Yeah,
I know
I
you
just
guys did that
remember-
raid, so
I remember going to support somebody, and we never made it there. We started getting hit.
mhm.
Stupid Mark 19 went down, and Solis was up top trying to get it going, and then me and Silver and Johnny, we were outside. I started taking fire from a rooftop and a window on a 3rd-story building. We were hunkered down behind a car, trying to draw their fire away from Sully because he was up there trying to get the gun up.
Yeah.
And then I realized that they weren't hitting a damn thing. Like every once in a while, a bullet would hit the car, but it was like you could always. I always tell people you could always tell who was shooting at you. It was like the just local idiots or like these like mafia kind of guys. And I was like, if one's shooting at you, it was like just holding them over the head and spraying. But if another one was shooting at you, it was like calculate aims, you know?
Yeah.
But they weren't hitting anything. And so I stood up, and when I stood up, they still weren't hitting anything. So I shot the guy on the roof. I shot at the guy in the 3rd-story window, and we decided we needed to clear the building. And there was a Ranger platoon stacked up along the alleyway right there. And I told Silver to go tell him we needed support to clear the building out. So it's everybody was kind of like on a little block area right then. Nobody was even like kind of looking distance away from each other. Every truck.
Yeah.
So I asked him to grab us some guys, and he came back and he said, "No, they don't do that." And then so I told Johnny to go, and then Johnny went over there and came back and said, "Yeah, that's a no go." So then I went over there, and like it was the first firefight, adrenaline's all pumping, and everything. So I was yelling at him, and there was no rank visible, and apparently Johnny didn't tell me that he was I forgot. It was a pretty decent high ranking officer, but he
Yeah.
didn't say anything about it. So I'm yelling at the guy and telling him he's a coward and that he needs to give me some people. And he's like, "We're not doing that. That's not our job." So I said, "Screw it." And all three of us went into the building, and we were like one person per room. And some of them were dark, like hardly windowless. So you'd like slide in on a leg and try and like see if anybody shot at you.
Yeah.
And there was a dead guy on the roof and one on the third story. I'm not actually sure who got the one on the third story, but that's basically it. And we came down, and when we came down, they had the people that we had screamed at had got in on the ground floor and were like, "We're securing the building for you." And I was like, "Yeah, thanks a lot. I appreciate it."
Did you catch any contact inside of any buildings? Any of that CQB training pay off?
Not really. I mean, it definitely paid off in the fact that confidence going in and everything. But no, we really didn't receive any fire while doing sweeps like that.
Yeah. No, it's a common story. There's a couple little one shots, two shots, but no like bigger CQB engagements, which is interesting. It seemed like they mostly ran to the roof and then tried to jump down or jump off or jump to another building or whatever. And
Yeah, that happened a lot.
yeah, yeah, like little spider monkeys.
Yeah, I think so. I remember Solis getting that one that RPG I told you, not Cornwell through the Humvee.
Mm-hmm.
I think Solis was on Guardian Angel and he went rooftop to rooftop. I think Solis got him like mid jump in between two buildings, if I remember right. I don't know. I remember he got him, but I don't remember how.
Sure. Well, let me jog your memory a little bit more. Obviously, the 6th and the 7th kind of blends together for everybody. So if not much stands out to you, that's all right. But the 8th wasn't much. That was when we kind of went out, did Operation County Fair, found a couple field hospitals, but it didn't seem like there was a lot of gunfights. Same thing with the 9th. Went out, searched a few specific places. No, nothing really. But it sounded like from the intel that they had retreated to the Sophia district. And so on the 10th, that's when we did our first bug hunt. Do you happen to remember that? That was, I mean, everybody was out. Everybody was out on the 10th.
Yeah, I remember. I remember bug hunts, but I can't
Yeah.
say as if I remember
Which one was which?
specific.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
90% of the time, pretty damn boring, and then every once in a while something would pop off.
Sure. Sure. Well, and then let's see, going through like later April and May. In May, there was the couple of guys that drowned in the Euphrates, and we did a lot of searching for those guys. Were you guys part of the searches at all?
I remember the searches, but I don't remember if we were. I think we were. No, I think we were daytime taskable or daytime QRF, one or the other, and we were busy with EOD.
Okay. Well,
If I recall correct.
speaking of taskable, do you remember going to any of the other camps like Takatum or Al Assad or even Junction City? Anything that stands out of those missions? Anything weird?
I mean, it was weird when you trying to think of. Was it Junction City that had the PX?
Yeah, Junction City definitely had it wasn't great, but it was decent. Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. And you could use your debit card there.
Yes.
I'll never forget that because everybody had like what at that point like $6,000 in their account. And like we were there. It's like I want this and this and this. So we were just like grabbing. I think I got like 17 seasons of shows to watch. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Sopranos, I remember. We binge watched Sopranos.
Yep. Yeah, a lot of people watch Sopranos. What was the other one? Firefly. I remember
Shield.
that. Shield. Yeah. The Wire. Both of those.
I could never bring myself to buy something new. The DVD Haji guy was always gave me 2-for-1 specials and stuff like that, and so I didn't mind the shaky hand camera whilst it was as they videotaped it in some
theater,
some theater in Europe.
Yeah.
I didn't mind that, but if you were getting any kind of adult kind of thing from him, you never knew what was going to be on it.
This is also true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a couple that got handed around that were pretty one-time experiences.
Yeah, there's a couple of people that continuously watch those things from the beginning to the end that you started having to worry about.
This is also true.
Let's see. I'm looking through my notes here. I don't have too many other specific things. Trying to remember. You guys definitely had one big gunfight that I can remember a video of, but I can't remember the date of, when you guys were hemmed up out by the reviewing stands, and you guys had helos on station, and you had Oliver North with you.
Oh, yeah. Oh man, yeah. Oliver North, I remember that. Yeah, really funny. Side note. First of all, I didn't know who he actually was. Really, just a reporter.
Uh-huh.
At first, when he was out there, do you remember he was out there when we were at March Air Force Base
Yes. Yeah.
filming and doing the little thing, right? So he's behind a tree at March Air Force Base, and Liz nearly crushes him with a Humvee going off road and going back there, and he couldn't see him. And everybody's like, "You nearly killed Oliver North," and I was like, "What's the big deal? It's just a reporter." Like, you know? So when my stepdad found out about that, he's like, "You don't know who that is?" No. So he gave me like all the history, all the books, everything about him. And then when we met him after that, it was like, "Oh, hey, I know who you are now." Like, actually. But yeah, he was stone cold during that. I remember that the cameraman at first would not get out of the Humvee. We started taking fire to the Humvee. I forgot whose Humvee he was in. I can't remember, but he was straight out of the Humvee, like reporting right away. And the guy would not get out of the Humvee with the camera. I can't remember if he could. And he's like, "No, get out, just start filming." He's like, "They're shooting at us." He's like, "It's okay. This is good stuff." You know? But yeah, we started taking fire. I remember it was like an alley, and we pulled in there, and then it was from a building across the street, and that was from another building, and it just started kind of coming all different directions, and then we kind of spread out all over the place. I don't think anybody fired any marks. I remember some people were firing 50s, some 240s, but I don't think anybody fired any Mark 19s. But it was a nice little skirmish, but I don't remember it lasted very long.
Yeah, all I remember is the footage specifically. That's the reason why it sticks out in my mind. I remember Oliver North came back and showed us the video, and we're like, "Oh, that's pretty great, man. That's good. That's good camera footage. You got the helicopters flying over, and he's like got a good action shot of it, and everything looked cool."
Yeah, that guy got out. The cameraman did get out. Like, I wasn't saying he was being cowardly or nothing. He was just kind of like,
no, he just didn't want to get shot.
Yeah, that's a good one. Kind of funny until you start talking about it. I kind of forget a lot of it.
Dude, it's easy. And what's funny is, we've noticed after talking to a few people about these things, it's how easy it all starts to blend together. Like I can remember getting in things, but I don't necessarily remember all the dates because it just all went one firefight to the next, and somebody was in contact essentially every day, so it wasn't like it was a new thing.
Right.
Well, I guess if you can't remember too many other details, you remember getting ready to pack up and get out.
I do remember that. My most, what was the camp called that we ended up going to and stationing at before we rolled out?
So in
Ramadi.
the very first place was Camp Ramadi, or we called it Junction City. And then the
Yeah.
airport or the place where the plane was Al Assad Air Base.
Right. Yeah. But when we were in Junction City, I do remember that they had a room there with a crap load of Xboxes.
Yeah.
And if you could sign in there, and we played Halo for like 12 hours straight until they kicked us off.
Yeah.
I remember that. But then I remember that drive to the next base because I remember me and Pete sitting there and I was just kind of like chilling, leaning my head up against it. And Pete was not like he was scared or nervous or anything, but he was like extremely vigilant. And I was like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "I just feel like this is the time where we're gonna get shot right when we're on our way home." And I was like, but I like sat up and I was like, "Well, now you got me paranoid." So then we were just like super paranoid all the way through. I think they were going down Route Michigan, and I was like, "Why are we down Michigan? Why would we ever go down Michigan?" But I remember that.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we jumped on that. It was I think that was a C-130 is what we jumped on there. And then they took us to Kuwait. Any memories of Kuwait, either coming or going?
I remember Kuwait is, I think, well, we'd been there less than 24 hours, and Sergeant Santiago had us put our flak jackets and gas masks on and go for a run, and we all nearly died about three-quarters of a mile into it. Him too. I don't think that was like the best idea that he ever had because we all just like ended up walking back to the thing. And I remember if we played football out there too. I don't know if you remember that map one was like we played football like
Oh, yeah.
every day back in California, like all the time.
Yeah.
Full full contact, and we kept getting hurt, but we kept, we were running or training when we were hurt.
Uh-huh. Well, you guys had a lot of
But
athletic people. I mean, like Garcia ran like a 16, 17-minute 3 mile. Like you were always in great shape. Jax was always in great shape. Like you guys had a lot of like superior athletes in that group as well.
yeah, Gutty, I think Gutty ran at 15:45 when we were in Oki.
I didn't
Jesus
remember
Christ.
that, but I'm not surprised. You guys had a lot. I
Yeah,
mean, even
it was.
Anthony smoked a pack a day and would still run like about an 18-minute 3 mile. So
Yeah, I miss him. I had a lot of fun with him. When we were there, man, I think he binge watched every single show the entire time. He had that little portable DVD player in his rack. He would just watch. So I just come over to him and get updates. I didn't even have to watch it.
uh, that's funny.
But yeah, I don't really remember any more really good stories. So any
All
two
right.
funny ones.
Well, to put a bow on it, do you remember what it felt like coming home after all that?
Yeah, it felt great. Um, the one thing I said, like, as far as for me, and I know I've talked to some of the guys I still talk to are like that. You're more missed it than you didn't really bring home PTSD from adrenaline or anything like that. You brought home it more for wanting to be back. And I will say that driving afterwards, because I was a driver for that truck, and like not squishing people or scrunching their cars when they got in the way was like a really hard thing to overcome in traffic. I remember that. People
Yeah.
people would pull out on you in traffic out there, and you're just like crunch. There you go, and just keep driving. Hard to get over that when you get home.
Yeah, you can't do that in California traffic, even if you want to.
No. But yeah, no, coming home was great.
And you still had a little bit of time left. So did you do the second Okie pump? Were you there long enough for that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and we did the machine gun competition then. Were you around when we did the whole machine gun competition that time?
Nope, not for that one, man.
Oh,
When we got home in 2004, I was out in December 2004.
were you?
Yeah.
That one was brutal because we did the company one at Mount Fuji, and it was like freaking 48 degrees and raining, and all there was to sleep on was volcanic rock.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember who the CO was. I can't remember if it was Captain Bronzy or I think it was Captain Bronzy. He's like, "Oh no, they're fine. They don't need tents or sleeping bags." We all had immersion foot the next day. Everything is shrunk up and looked like brains on our feet. And we were trying to do the damn machine gun competition. It's terrible.
Uh, well,
And
did you?
that was probably. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good, man. I interrupted you. Go ahead.
I was saying, that was probably the hardest one, honestly, because after that we went battalion. And I think we went regimental. I'll have to look at that. We got an award for it. We won it all, but the company one was the hardest one because it was map 1, map 2, map 3, all against each other.
Oh, nice. And then as far as your military career, did you just end up doing the 4 years or did you stay longer?
Nope, just the 4.
Cool. All right, man. Well,
Planned on when I signed up, planned on doing it for life, but you know how that works out as soon as you get down to the end of the 4.
I think that's true for a lot of us. I know that was true for me and definitely true for Blake.
Yeah. I intended to be a careerist, but that didn't shake out.
Yeah, something about a lot of the people. I'm not saying anything about somebody re-enlisting at all, but like it seems to be a lot of the people that re-enlist shouldn't be the ones that re-enlist, and they end up being the ones telling you what to do, which pisses you off, so you don't want to re-enlist.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Silver retired last year.
That's what I heard. And he went MARSOC, right?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, he went that, and then another person I was checking, Pierce. Pierce went, got out, went to Army, and then Ranger. And if I'm not too sure, but I think he went Ranger to Beret, but I can't be positive.
Oh, nice. Dude, there's a lot of people who went the distance from 2-4 Weapons Company. It is surprising the number of people who made Sergeant Major or Master Guns and went the whole distance. It's a lot.
Yeah, well, that's what I teach out here is tactical fitness. So running, shooting, clearing, CrossFit, stuff like that.
Nice. Yeah, I remember you were into that. Any lessons from Ramadi? Anything that you incorporate in any of that stuff?
Yeah, well, I mean, most of the CQB, a lot of people don't know how big an impact Sergeant Condi had on a lot of us. I mean, he was constantly out there training. Like I say, when he went down, I think that probably hit everybody more than anybody else that went down.
Yeah, it was a big deal.
Yeah, and we were all pissed after that point. But yeah, a lot of the CQB stuff is very interesting because you get to apply it in real life. But I mean, no matter if there was somebody shooting at us, we did knock down a bunch of doors and go through and implement the things we learned, regardless if somebody was shooting at us.
Yeah.
So it's
No,
very
absolutely.
interesting to be able to say, it doesn't actually work in real life. You're taking a principle. That right there doesn't work. Trust me, it will not work. we have a church security group from my church out here that I'm a part of, and twice a year they have we have drills with rubber bullets and everything else where people do church shootings and all sorts of stuff, and uh, that gets implemented. That was actually kind of funny. I mean, not to drag it on or anything. There was a guy, and I didn't know how serious to take it at first, and I was a front row guy, and he kicked open the side door and started walking up towards the children's building. So I followed him, and then he took out a gun and was screaming, "Where's my kid?" And I grabbed a hold of him, and we wrestled. And then he had blanks in the gun. He shot me twice in the stomach with the gun. He's like, "What did you do wrong?" And I was like, "I didn't do anything wrong. I grabbed you when you were pulling the gun out." He's like, "Yeah, but I killed you." I was like, "Well, yeah, but I mean, it's not real. I don't know exactly what you want me to do. The floor is concrete. I mean, did you want me to choke you out and put you off the floor?" He's like, "You gotta pretend it's real." I was like, "Okay." So we ran it again, and as he was going, I ran up behind him and I hammer fisted him in the back of the head. And he hit the ground. And he's like, "What the hell are you doing?" I was like, "I just shoved a knife to the top of your head."
Yeah.
And he's like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, you're dead. That's all good. I got the gun." You were. He's like, "It's not really what I was expecting." I was like, "I don't know what you want." You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Either it's real or it's not, man.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I'm glad those Ramadi lessons are paying dividends.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's cool, dude. Well, it's been good to catch up, bro. Thanks for agreeing to do this. And dude, you told some fucking zingers, man. That was every bit of this paints a little bit of the canvas, and you filled in some holes that man, a couple people I hadn't thought about in a long time, and a couple people I definitely miss, including yourself. So I'm glad to see it. I'm glad you're doing so well.
Awesome. It's great to see y'all too. I hadn't really kept track of too many people, just a couple throughout everything.
If you like what you heard, make sure you subscribe for future episodes on your favorite podcast service.